Carl Linnaeus is best known for the formal introduction of binomial nomenclature, a system of naming species composed of two parts, the genus and species, using mainly Latin grammatical forms. The first part of the binomial name identifies the genus to which the species belongs, and the second part identifies the species within the genus. For example, corn, classified as Zea maize, belongs to genus Zea and to the species maize. In addition, there is typically an authority following binomial names, which is a way of designating the scientists who first published the name. Linnaeus holds the authority L, which is found after a great number of binomial classifications. Species Plantarum was the first book to consistently apply binomial nomenclature to naming plants and served as the basis for modern botanical nomenclature. It contained more than 1,000 genera divided into 24 classes based on Linnaeus' system of sexual classification, which classified plants according to the form of the flowers, stamens, and other sexual traits like diece. Linnaeus also published Systema Naturae, which by the 10th edition in 1758 classified 4,400 species of animals and 7,700 species of plants. Carl Linnaeus was born in Sweden in 1707. Linnaeus was born to a middle-class family that had enough wealth to afford him an education. He rarely studied, however, often going to the countryside to look for plants. His school's headmaster, Linnaeus, noticed Linnaeus' interest in botany and gave him access to his garden. He also introduced Linnaeus to Johann Rothman, a teacher and botanist who helped broaden Linnaeus' interest in botany and medicine. Linnaeus eventually went to study directly under Rothman, who taught Linnaeus to classify plants according to an older system. Linnaeus moved to and received most of his higher education at Uppsala University, which is where he first began giving lectures in 1730. Linnaeus wanted to travel to Lapland. He hoped to find new plants, animals, and minerals, and he was given a grant for his journey in 1732. On his journey, he found great quantities of twin flower, later known as Linnaeus borealis, which would become his favorite plant and personal emblem. On his 6-month journey, he discovered over 100 previously unknown plant species and traveled over 1,000 miles. In April of 1735, Carl Linnaeus pursued a doctoral degree in medicine at the University of Harderwijk in the Dutch Republic, which at the time was renowned as the best place for the study of natural sciences. On the way, he stopped in Hamburg, where he met the mayor, who proudly showed him a wonder of nature that he possessed, the remains of a 7-headed hydra. Linnaeus quickly discovered the hydra was a fake. Jaws and feet from weasels and skins from snakes had been glued together. Linnaeus made his observations public, and the mayor's dreams of selling the hydra for a large sum were ruined. In the Netherlands, Linnaeus received his doctorate and met several noblemen who sponsored his research and writings. He traveled to England and throughout Europe to further study botany and learn from other European botanists. Linnaeus returned to Sweden in 1738 and became professor of botany in the 1740s. He was sent on several journeys throughout Sweden to further classify plants and animals. In the 1750s and 60s, he continued to collect and classify animals, plants, and minerals, and published several volumes on his work, including Species Plantarum and Systema Naturae. Linnaeus was ennobled in 1757 by the King of Sweden, and he took the twin flower as his coat of arms. At the time of his death, he was one of the most acclaimed scientists in Europe. Controversially, Linnaeus classified humans among the primates beginning with the first edition of Systema Naturae. He once had the opportunity to examine several monkeys and noted similarities between them and man. He pointed out that both species basically have the same anatomy, and except for speech, he found no other differences. Thus, he placed man and monkeys under the same category, anthropomorpha, meaning man-like. This classification received strong criticism by both the scientific and theological communities. Carl Linnaeus spent much of his life studying nature and taxonomy. From a very young age, he was passionate and dedicated to botany, ecology, and taxonomy. He holds an esteemed legacy in the scientific community and will forever be known as the father of taxonomy.